Well, Matt, thank you for coming on the red carpet round table.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I did some research about you, but I always like to go off with my guests telling a little bit about themselves. So please introduce yourself. What got you into this fun industry?
Well, I guess my name's Matt Nuttall. I'm from the north of England, Manchester, more a little bit further north, actually, a place called Rochdale, and a very small village called Wardle, which there isn't that many people there. Everybody knows each other. That's where I grew up, and so I have to say it like that because it's the bigger city, the smaller city, and then the village, and everybody knows where I'm coming from. Yeah, I'm from there. I'm 46 years old now, and in terms of the acting stuff, this all started around 2013. I did like an extra role in a TV series. It was a comedy series, and it was from the writer Ben Elton. It was called The Right Way, and it's actually really funny looking back at it now, thinking about how I thought how I thought it was going to be. I thought you're going to see me. Everybody's going to be like, "No way, there was Matt on TV." And come the time when the actual series was on the TV, I was pausing it, I was rewinding it, and so what happens is they had the camera on a track going round, and I had to do a pull up in a gym, you know. So they would say, "Okay, the pull up is the cue for everything to start." Right? This is all alien to me. I have no idea what's going on. I was just doing pull ups, right? So boom, I do the pull up, and literally all you see of me is this section. You don't see my face. You see my armpit basically. So everybody joked about the fact that my armpit was on TV and not me. And and then that was my first experience of doing any acting and or anything on set. And I thought that was fun. I'd love to do it again. There was cabins outside. There was a double decker bus. It was Christmas
Hmm.
time. We had a Christmas dinner on there and stuff. And so, but that was it for a few years. 2013. And then what happened is I've always worked as a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer for 24 years now. Uh, and I'll come back to that afterwards because I feel like that's what gives me the ability to do the acting. But I had a client who she's actually now the director of Gold Rush. It's a show in Canada, I think. It's on American TV. Maybe Discovery. I think it's on Discovery. She's the director of that show. She was also the director of The Voice or a producer on that show as well. But she was at the time she was on a current affairs show called Tonight with Trevor McDonald. It's an ITV show, which is a big station in the UK. And just one night, randomly, I get a phone call, and a personal trainer had dropped out and couldn't make it the day after. So she said, "Can you make it to Boston tomorrow?" And I said, "If you pay for my flights, then I'll be there." And she said, "No, Boston in Lincolnshire in England." I was like, "Okay, I didn't even know there was a place called Boston in Lincolnshire." So I was up at like, I don't know, 4 a.m. I drove 3 hours to get there. It's all farm country roads to get there. So it's not like a motorway to get there. It was a long time getting there. And I spent the whole day on set. Again, it was the second time I've been on set. I kind of clock. I'm always watching. I'm always paying attention to how things work, and I'm trying to pick up the lingo for some of the things that they're doing, and you know, and towards the end, a producer or exec producer came up. I didn't even know what that was at the time, and he said, "How long have you been doing this work?" And I said, "I'm a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer at the time. It was about 20 years." because this was in 2019 and not 18. And he said that he said, no, I mean the presenting work. I said that no, I've never done this before. This is the first time I've ever done it. And he said, "Wow, you came across really well on camera, and you know, blah blah blah." And I said, "But it's just because I know what I'm talking about, right?" And it's straightforward to me. But I've never had a fear of the camera. In fact, if someone's got a camera, I'm going to it. You know, I want to be in front of it. I always have. You know, even looking back now as a
Hmm.
kid, so he said, you should set up a profile and you should pursue this, you know, if you want to do it. And I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. And I went away from there, but that thought niggled at me for maybe 5 or 6 months. And eventually I did. I set up a profile on this website called Star Now. And I had my profile on there, and all I had was that little bit of footage from ITV, which had millions and millions of views, you know. So then some students reached out to me from Salford University, which is a city right next to Manchester, and they said, we'd love you to audition for this role of a bank robbery, a bank robber gone wrong, and there's lines in this short
Right.
film. And I was like, okay, I'm in. And I read the script and I have to punch someone in the throat. And I was like, yeah, I'm sold on that. I always thought, because my background is kickboxing, that I would end up in action films, you know.
Hmm.
And a few of my friends or people that were in the kickboxing world at the time did and are doing very well now, like, and are in big Hollywood productions and things, you know. And
Right.
you know, a couple of them I fought with before now in kickboxing, and to see them do that, I always thought that that's what I might do, but I had no idea how it would come about. Um,
And
so,
you,
sorry.
pardon me, and you have a black belt.
Yeah, I'm a third dan black belt in kickboxing. Yeah, it's like Chinese kickboxing, but after the kickboxing, I went into Muay Thai, which is a bit more.
Hmm.
Uh, well, it's kickboxing. I would say my style is like a K1 style kickboxing. Yeah,
Hmm.
that was my background. Yeah, all the way through.
And
And so yeah, I went on.
hmm.
I went there. And we had to do some rehearsals. There was a couple of people there that were actual actresses and actors. One lady had been on like Emmerdale or you know Casualty and some of these TV shows that I knew. So I was the big imposter in the room and I had no idea what anyone was talking about. No idea. They were talking about blocking out scenes and
Hmm.
uh, all this stuff, and I just thought, you know what? I know I don't know what they're talking about, but just nod. So I was just nodding, and I thought all of this will come at some point. I'll know what it is, and
Wow.
they want
And you
me
know,
to,
like I mentioned, you have a black belt, and
yeah,
I used to do karate, so congratulations, fun.
wicked, yeah,
Um,
awesome,
you know, I want to dig into you were in Mr. Hyde, the Untold Story when you
Mr.
played
Hyde,
Freddie,
yeah.
came out in 2025, and I don't know if you're allowed to tell anybody about it. If you can you tell a brief story what your character role in this film?
Yeah, my character is Freddie, and Freddie is my friend. I can't remember his actual on-screen name, but I am like the gangster boss's right-hand man. So the story in Mr. Hyde is there's three kind of different stories. There's like a love story. There's a gangster story where there's trafficking and all sorts of stuff going on, and then there's the story of Hyde and you know
Hmm.
Jekyll and Hyde. It's a Jekyll and Hyde story, you
Excuse
know
me.
where he
Right.
drinks the potion and there's that as well. So that was actually my first um, speaking role, you know, where I
Right.
actually got to do some acting.
And
Well,
that's
no, sorry, the short film was, but that was the
right.
second. That was the
Well,
first feature film, you know.
congratulations playing that part. You know, and where can people see it, by the way?
Amazon Prime. It's on Amazon Prime right now. Yeah. Who
And
knows where it will end up,
right, and yourself, like you're a personal, I mean, personal trainer, if you mind me saying, personal trainer, you're a producer, you're an actor, and it's I'm gonna ask, do you see yourself maybe being more in an action film? Do you want to have yourself play a character in an action film?
Um, yes, but also I don't I really got the chance to act. Like I feel like I got the chance to act. And the question was always, can you even do, like my wife says it to me before I go to a gig or something, she says, but can you even act? And I always say, well, we're gonna find out. And one of the roles that I did, um, I think I answered that question for myself because of the emotion that I felt within a certain scene. And yeah, so yeah, action movies I would love, because I would be able to use my martial arts
Hmm.
within that. I'm in good shape, good physical shape, I'm mobile, I'm agile, and I would love to do some fight scenes and things, which I have done in in a couple of films. But I would love something to get to sink my teeth into to challenge,
Hmm. Hmm.
because I've fallen in love with the idea of me being in a martial
Amen.
arts film. Probably ego,
Mhm. I
but
don't I
never
don't want to
fallen in love.
say, if you mind me saying, I don't want to say it's ego. I think it's passion. You love what you're doing. And
Yeah,
that's what I say. If we love what we're doing. You
yeah,
can you
100%.
can we, I say we, not you. We as anybody, we can start acting at any age. And
Yeah,
that is it. It's I to me it's like you can get into that role. You love playing different roles. You're a different character. It's like you're going into a childhood in your moment because you don't
100%.
you don't get you get to be like, wait, I actually get to drop off a building, for example, and you're like, what? I get to play this, and you're like, wow, I'm a
Yeah, yeah,
child right now, even though I'm adult. Like I'm a child,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, you're
So
playing, right?
I
The the
totally
play the play never left, you know?
No, it never leaves you. And I wanted to
Yeah.
go back into what you were saying earlier, if you can correct me, emotions. So I want to dig into that. What do you mean by the character got to you by emotions?
So there was a scene where I'm playing a Viking, and I'm this Viking leader. I'm in the village, but I'm dying. Yeah, and yeah, I can say this because it's come out now. Um, and but something else happens, and I become a different character. But in this scene, um, I was working with an actor who's very, very experienced. He's been in loads of films. He's called Jules Seeger, and he's been in Viking movies before as well. And he said to me, like, we went on our own, just me and him, and the two directors, and no one else, to this like Viking hut at the back of the room. And then I froze for a second, and then he said to me, "Listen, Matt, think about how much gravitas there is to this scene. The fact that he's this big, strong Viking warrior, but he's trying to tell um, his best friend that this is end of days, like." And as soon as he said it, I thought about my grandparents. I thought about people I'd lost. And I actually started, as soon as you put it into that context, and when I delivered the lines, um, I felt like it was happening, and I and I went away from that scene afterwards, and we all had like a group hug afterwards. It was bonkers, and I went and laid down afterwards, and I was like, "Phew," you know, holy shit, that was seriously emotional. That was what it was supposed to be, and yeah, and I thought I absolutely love that. I absolutely love the fact that I was able to, and then it's down to the cameraman to pick up on that at the end of the day. You don't know. I know that I was emotional. I was tearing up. So as long as it's caught on there, but that made me. That was the day I realized that yeah, that I answered it for myself. Can you even act? I thought I can.
Amazing.
And yeah,
That is so so emotional. To hear that, you get into that character moment and you get so deep into it.
yeah.
It's
You know
just
what's crazy though is you come from that, right? And that is a massive high. And then you've got another scene to do later on. And then you come to do the scene and you expect the same thing to happen again, but it's not that. And it doesn't happen. And you're like, oh, that was the scene, And then you're like, oh, you can't, every scene can't be like that, right? Sure, you're
you know,
chasing a high, right?
right. It's and the thing is, like you said, it's like the cast members become a family and you hug each other. And that is so to me amazing, emotional because we become family. It's
Yeah.
you have your real family, but you have cast members' families. And I say this because a lot of people who are getting into the entertainment industry, they think, and I'm just saying think because they think it's a competition. It's not. We are a
Oh,
family. We support each other
yeah,
in this
100%.
entertainment industry.
Obviously, I've been involved in competition all my life, fighting, but I was always part of a team as well, like a team of fighters, you know, um, which is bonkers. So I've always been good at working as part of a team, but also working hard as an individual. But for me, there's so many different roles, and there's millions of people trying to get the same role. So Anna, my wife will tell you different, like because in the past year alone, I've had some bigger, higher callings, if you like, something for a film with Samuel L. Jackson, something for a film with Cuba Gooding Jr. and to even have these names with my name has made me a bit. I want it more, I want it more, and so. But I also know that I have to manage my expectations on all of it. So it's
Amen.
a real
Hmm.
learning curve for myself to deal with, because I can't be keep going I have to
Right.
find a midpoint, to chill
Moment,
on.
moment, midpoint, 100%. And
Yeah.
that's for sure. Um, any upcoming roles you're allowed to talk about?
Yeah, so I'm down to play. Um, I can't really talk about the concept of it, other than it's to do with SAS soldiers. It's a comedy, and it's called Rogue Chancers, and it's a friend of mine. Coincidentally, when I played the Viking in Realm, he was on set there, and he's got the green light now for, I think it's a 6 or an 8 part series thing, and I'll be taking on like a lead role in that. So I'm super excited about that. I have no idea what the script has in store, other than a few things that have pulled me right in. I'm not in a position where I'm turning stuff down, or I'll
Right,
take whatever
right.
comes because I just want to act, right?
Hmm.
And it's not like it happens every week. Um, so this is for next year, and the film I did a film earlier this year called Bigfoot
Hmm.
Primal Fear, and that's coming out. They're just doing a word, the score on it or something. This is a word I don't know. They're just doing that now with the final edit and stuff like that, and that would be 5 weeks, and then I think we'll have a film premiere for that in maybe January or February time in London. So I just finished that film, So there's more footage to come from, you know how it is. You do a job and you think that a job's going to come off the back of that job. And for me, right now, it's all just been about the people that I've met on set, and they're working on this, and do you want to jump on this? So that's when I worked on that with Craig David Dowsett, he's called. He was the lead in the movie Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey in the first one, which is a mad horror film. And he goes around the world doing all the Comic Cons and stuff like that. And I did, and he was in Realm with me, the Viking thing. So he said, "Do you want to come and be in this Bigfoot thing?" Yes. And then I was speaking to him, and I said I could do with something more, to sink my teeth into. I really want to. And then came Retribution, which will be my first action film, I think. And I've got a role in this film next year. So those are the two things that are in the pipeline for next year. And other things that I'm involved in, I'm waiting for them to secure funding, or they're filming pilots and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's absolutely. Congratulations. I can't wait.
Thank you,
I'm
man.
so proud of
Appreciate it.
you. Um, what is your encouraging message for any upcoming young actors who want to get in the entertainment industry?
Encouraging message. If you feel it and if it feels good, then just go with it however you can. Like right now, I work as a personal trainer that pays my rent. I have another business with a photo booth. Like I've had to become creative with everything outside of acting in order to free me up so that I can go and do the acting jobs, because I'm under no illusion that it's going to be overnight, even though I know it can be overnight. But I'm under no illusions. So I would say, if you feel it and it lights you up, for instance, if you go on set at 5 o'clock in the morning and you still got the same energy at 7 o'clock in the evening for the thing, even though you're tired, as soon as they go action, boom, you're back. If that's what's happening
Hmm.
when you do it, then chase it now, as much as possible, and do whatever you can on the other side to make sure that you don't become um, an out of work actor. There's no reason to that can find something you can do that can earn you money to pay your rent
Right.
and everything. You can chase a dream.
Amen. I totally agree with you. Now, real quick, I know you got to experience as an audience member on is it Britain Got Talent?
Yeah, yeah,
I just wanted to say that because
yeah.
everybody
No, it
talks
was
about it.
fun.
How was your
Again,
experience and what did you let's go from there.
it was great fun actually, because it felt like acting. They had two seats within the audience on this side, mic'd up, and they had
Hmm.
two seats over there mic'd up. So the banter was between the two, and I'm sure that people who were sat next to me, they didn't know that we were mic'd up. So I'm sure they were getting annoyed with the fact that I was always talking and saying stuff. But I knew this was going to be on TV, and I know what TV is like. That the more you are, the more chance you get of being played on the TV, right? So
Yes, that's true.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. So yeah, it was good fun, and that came from my producer friend who's doing the show in Canada now, the Gold Show.
Yeah, the Ghost Show. I love them. I love the
Yeah.
voice and everything.
You know what was cool about that? We turned up and there was the big queue. When they do the camera down the big queue,
Hmm.
and the big queue's there, and I had to ring a producer, assistant producer, and they came out to meet me with the clipboard, and it said "crew" on the back, and I had a leather jacket on and all this, and they said come through, and everyone was in the queue like, oh, who's that? Who's that? And it was no one. It was me and the wife. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Where can people find you on social media?
My Instagram everywhere really. because that's what someone told me years ago. Be everywhere. So if you just type my name in Google, Matthew Nuttall, and you type actor, the Instagram should be there. Matt Nuttall Fitness is my Instagram. TikTok is some TikToks. I do some stupid things on TikTok, um, and yeah, that's it. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Matthew Nuttall. Just type my name in on Google me, and it'll come up.
Well, yes, that's true. Well, Matt, again, thank you for coming on and
I
thank you
appreciate
for
it.
following me on Instagram. People need to follow you on Instagram as well. And I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thank you for having me on, mate. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. We'll definitely stay in touch, and I look forward to speaking with you again.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.